I will show you how to preserve fresh tomatoes for a long period of time. I'll wash it first. I will have the tomatoes and clean the center. Write me in the comments from which country are you watching me? It's nice to know that we are watching each other all over the world. Now I need clean and wash jars. I add a clove of garlic to each jar. I add peppercorns. I add mustard seeds. I add coriander. I also arrange tomatoes in jars. Do not fill the jar to the top because the water must cover the tomatoes. And so I fill all the jars. I add a teaspoon of salt to each jar. A tablespoon of vinegar 9%. I fill the jars with water to cover the tomatoes. The jars have a volume of 720 milliliters. I'll wipe the top of the jar. I close the jars with clean lids. I need a deeper pot. And I arrange the jars inside. I pour water up to the height of the lid. I put the pot on the stove. I will cover it. From the moment the water boils, it will be pasteurized for 30 minutes. I pasteurize at a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. After 30 minutes, I remove the pan from the stove. I will leave the jars to gradually cool in the water and then store them in a dark place until use. If you like the video, leave me a heart in the comment and a like. Thank you, dear friends. I will show you how to preserve fresh peppers for the winter. I'll wash them first. I will clean the stems and seeds from the peppers and cut them into fillets. Write me in the comments from which country are you watching me? It's nice to know that we are watching each other all over the world. I I cut the peppers into fillets and will mince 1 head of garlic. I peeled garlic. I need clean and wash jars. I put a few peppercorns in each jar. I add garlic. A teaspoon of salt. Two tablespoons of vinegar 9%. I add parsley. I thinly slice the pepper fillets in a jar. And this is how I will do all the jars. I pour water into each jar to cover the pepper. I'll wipe the top of the jar. I close the jars with clean and new lids. I need a deeper pan, and I put a cloth on the bottom of the pan. I put the jars in the pot. I pour water up to the height of the lid. I put the pan on the stove. I'll cover it. And from the moment the water boils, it will be pasteurized for 30 minutes. Pasteurization is a process at 80 degrees Celsius. The pasteurization is complete, and I will leave the jars to gradually cool in the water. After that, I store them in a dark and cool place until use. If you like the video, leave me a heart in the comment and a like. Thank you, dear friends.
This is how I make pickles, which stay crunchy, firm, and can stay in the pantry for years. I have prepared the cucumbers and I will wash them first. Soak the cucumbers in cold water for several hours, because that's how they regain their firmness, tighten up, and later remain much crispier in the jar. Now I need washed and clean jars. I will use 750 milliliter jars. I add a few peppercorns to each jar. Dill, mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 5 spoons of alcoholic vinegar, 9%. I cut the cucumber into jars. I pour cold water into the jar to cover the cucumber. I'll wipe the top of the jar. We close the jars with clean lids. I need a saucepan. I put a cloth on the bottom of the pot. I put the jars in the pot. I pour water up to the height of the lid. I put the pan on the stove. I'll wait for the water to boil. When the water boils, I will pasteurize it for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes of pasteurization, I remove the pan from the stove. I will leave the jars to cool completely in the water. When the jars are completely cooled, the center part of the lid must sink in. I store the jars in a dark and cool place, preferably in the basement. If you like the video, leave me a heart in the comment and a like. Thank you, friends.
I'm going to show you how to preserve a vegetable salad for the winter. I washed the vegetables and now I will chop them. First, I'll cut the tomatoes. I transfer the sliced tomatoes to a larger bowl. Write to me in the comments from which country are you watching me? It's nice to know that we are watching each other all over the world. Now I will cut the cucumber and pepper. I will chop the onion and garlic. And finally, I will cut the parsley. I will add 1 tablespoon of salt. 50 milliliters of olive oil. I will stir. I will leave the salad prepared in this way for an hour to let the vegetables release their juices. After an hour of standing, the vegetables release their juice. I need clean and wash jars. I will fill the jar with prepared vegetables. And so I will fill all the jars. I also pour the remaining juice into the jars. I add a teaspoon of sugar to each jar. I add a spoonful of 9% vinegar. Botulism does not develop in an acidic environment. I'll wipe the top of the jar. I do not add water to the jars because the vegetables will release their juice. I close the jars with clean lids. I need a deeper pot. I put a cloth on the bottom of the pan and arrange the jars in the pan. I pour water up to the height of the lid. I put the pan on the stove. I will cover it, and from the moment the water boils, I will pasteurize it for 35 minutes. We pasteurize at a temperature of 80 degrees Celsius. After 35 minutes, the pasteurization is complete, and I remove the pan from the stove. Leave the jars in the water to cool gradually. After that, keep them in a dark and cool place until use. When the jars have cooled, the center part of the lid must sink. If you like the video, leave me a heart in the comment. Thanks, friends.